You ever just glance at a calendar and wonder what stories are hiding behind a particular date? Well, today we're doing exactly that. We're zoning in on March 6th. For a lot of us, it's just another day, right? But in Sikh history, this one date, it maps out an incredible journey spanning over 170 years. Let's dig in and see how.
So, that's the big question, isn't it? How on earth can one single solitary day on the calendar tell the story of a community's evolution? That's the puzzle we're going to piece together today. We're going to connect three very specific moments in time, all happening on March 6th, just in different centuries, to trace a really remarkable story of transformation.
All right, here's our roadmap. We're kicking things off way back in 1752 with the story of a really critical sacrifice. Then we'll jump forward to 1834 to a moment of major military conquest. And we'll wrap up in 1921, where we see the power of an organized community finally finding its voice. Three totally different snapshots, all on the very same day.
Okay, our first stop is the mid-18th century. And let me tell you, this was a turbulent time. This part of the story isn't about some epic battle won. It's actually about a crucial friendship and a really profound loss.
Now, before we get to our main character, you've got to understand this title, Diwan. Don't just think of it as a name. A Diwan was a top-tier royal advisor, someone with serious political power. Basically, the kind of person you'd really want on your side. Understanding just how important this position was is key to what happens next.
So let's meet him. Divan Kawadamal. His nickname was Mitamal, which literally means sweet person. That kind of tells you something about his character, right? But the most important word here is sympathizer. In a time of constant conflict, having a powerful Divan who wasn't just neutral, but was an active ally, well, that was an absolute game changer for the Sikhs.
And his story comes to a head right here on March 6, 1752. He didn't just talk the talk, he proved his loyalty with his life, dying while defending Lahore. This moment, it really represents the first phase of our story, a time when survival and progress often depended on the courage and sacrifice of powerful individual allies. This is our starting point.
Okay, now let's hit the fast-forward button. We're jumping ahead 82 years. And in that time, the entire world has changed for the Khalsa. They're not just fighting to survive anymore, they're building an empire. And their story is about to take a very dramatic turn.
So let's dive into our next chapter. We are now firmly in the era of the Sikh Empire, and the whole dynamic has shifted. We're moving from relying on individual friends to projecting serious collective military strength.
And wow, this just shows you how much has changed. We're talking about the legendary Sikh Khalsa army, led by one of its most famous generals, Hari Singh Nalwa. Their goal wasn't defense anymore, it was conquest, and that is a crystal clear sign of a community that has truly come into its own power.
And on March 6, 1834, they did it. They captured the incredibly strategic city of Peshawar. Just think about that shift for a second. In 1752, this date marked the tragic loss of a key ally in a defensive fight. Now, in 1834, it marks a huge offensive victory, won by the combined strength of an entire army. This is the evolution from just surviving to truly thriving.
All right, one last leap forward in time. It's now another 87 years later, 1921. The Sikh Empire is a thing of the past, and we're in the modern era. Power isn't just about armies and fortresses anymore. The next chapter of the story is about a whole different kind of strength.
Now, this final chapter is different yet again. The focus isn't on military might at all. It's on something that's maybe even more powerful and lasting: institutional organization and the power of a unified community voice.
To get what's happening here, you need to know about the SGPC. The creation of this organization was a massive step. It's a central committee created by the community, for the community, to manage its most sacred places, the Gurdwaras. This is really the bedrock of modern self-governance. And so, on March 6, 1921, we have another milestone. The management of a very important Gurdwara was peacefully handed over to the SGPC. No battles were fought, no fortresses were taken. This was a victory of organization, of negotiation, of collective will. It's the sign of a mature, self-governing community.
So we've seen three completely different events, all on the same day in the calendar: an individual sacrifice, a huge military victory, and a quiet, institutional success. So, what does it all mean when you put it together?
This table just lays it all out so perfectly. You can see the whole journey. From depending on the heroism of one person, to building the power of an entire army, to finally creating the lasting structure of self-governance. It's this amazing progression from personal sacrifice to collective power, and then finally to institutional strength, all seen through the lens of one single day.
And really, that's the heart of it. The story of March 6th isn't just a random list of things that happened. It's a narrative arc. It shows a community's journey from relying on the bravery of individuals to building incredible collective power, and ultimately to creating the kind of enduring strength that comes from self-run institutions.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What kind of stories are just hiding in plain sight on our own calendars? What journey could a single day in your family's history or your community's history reveal if you just looked a little closer? Thanks for joining me on this one.